briefly give my audience a little bit of your story, your migration story to Canada. What challenges did you face, and what lessons have you learned in that this ongoing journey?
Yeah, it is ongoing. And I really love the way you said it. What challenges? Everything is ongoing. So, we go through certain things in our lives for a reason,
Mm.
and we don't know why, right? I'll start from Nigeria a little, and like I said, I'm super excited to talk about my story. I'm actually writing my second book. Um,
What's the title of the first book?
the title of the first book is Authenticity. This is it.
Nice.
How my why me moments shaped my life.
Nice.
So, some of the things you may not know, or people that knew me in City, was the fact that I started banking in '89. And when I started banking in '89, I was doing everything operations. I was with Society General.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I learned everything operations, even beyond operations, account opening and supporting clients. I was the front line, right? And when I started banking in '89, they were paying bullshit money to bankers. And so my father of blessed memory, did not want me to work. He wanted me to go back to school.
Mm.
But I've been disappointed with, JAMB. You know, the way JAMB is,
Yeah.
I passed very well and I didn't get into school. And I'm like, to hell with JAMB. I'm not going to do it again. And so I got this job. And my father said, why don't you go back to school? I'm like, Dad, if I go back to school, what will I do after school? He said, I'm gonna work. I said, but I'm working now. Why must I go back to school? But what I didn't know was the fact that work is different from work, right? You'll be at the bottom of the rug if you have nothing to
Yeah.
no value had, right? And then I lost that job.
Mm.
When I lost that job was when I realized that yes, I have the experience, but I don't have the qualification, because every time I go to look for work, that's what they tell me. And
Yeah.
I told myself that nobody's ever going to tell me that again. And that was when I went back to school. So this is me going back to school at age 24. I left high school at age 16, and I
Wow.
didn't get my first diploma until I was 28. So by the time I now decided to go back to school, my father was late. And I was
Mm.
a spoiled girl. My father loved me so much. It was a prince. My father loved me so much. There was nothing I asked of him that I would not do for me. And I still miss him, even though he's been dead now for
Yeah.
over 30 something years. But the lesson here is listen to your parents, period. That's the lesson here. Seriously,
Yeah.
listen to your
Because
parents.
they know something you don't know.
They know a lot you don't know.
Yeah.
They know a lot you don't know. And I'm happy that I didn't give that choice to my children. My first son is 26. He already has double degree. He did his first degree in political science and law and justice. I mean, and then he went to University of Dundee to do law. So, and I tell him, you're my success story, because
Mm.
what happened to me cannot happen to my son. It's just not going to happen, right? And I didn't even let him walk all while he was in school, because it won't even be jinxed with that. So, the fact that I didn't go to school when I was supposed to go, it was just like, Yoruba, they'll say, "Entani ko she totolo, she tototo." They say, just take a step. And you say, no, I'm not going to take steps. And you keep taking multiple steps, over and over again, just because you refuse to do what you got to do. And I'll just use the Bible, Ecclesiastes 3:1, that says, there is a time for everything under the sun. Make
Mm.
sure you do what you got to do when you got to do it, because time waits for no one.
Yeah.
Does not wait for no one. So I spent 4 years to get an OND. 4 years, and there's a story behind that. But I
Yeah.
I got my first diploma at 28, 28, and that was when I was introduced to Citibank, where you met me. I
Yeah.
was desperate at 28. I had my first son. I was jobless, but now I look at myself and say, okay, you have some form of education at least, right? And you have experience. And my very good friend, my childhood friend, introduced me to City, and I got the contract job.
Yeah.
And when I was given that job, I was already working. I was working with another big bank in Nigeria, but I got this big table with very little money,
Mm.
1,000 naira. It was just not taking me anywhere. But when I was introduced to City, I was given this. I didn't even know what the job was going to be, but I was told I was going to be paid 13,000 plus, from 3,000 naira to 13,000 plus. And I asked, when I was leaving, the man said, "You're not even going to ask what you're going to do." I said, "Yeah, right." And I said, "What am I going to do?" And he said, "You're going to be making tea." And I'm like, "Excuse me? Did you know that I have almost 10 years of experience in banking? Did you know?" I was so proud of myself that I have a diploma in accounting from Yaba College of Technology. And he said, "Yes, I know." And he said, "Do you want to know the qualification of the person making tea right now?" I said, "Yes, I would like to know." And he told me that that person has master's degree. And if it was me, Adejisola, at age 16, I would have said, "To hell with your
No.
16,000 or 13,000." But because I've seen life,
Mm.
I have responsibility. I didn't say anything. I just left. I was dejected.
Mm.
Dejected was the word. Seriously, if I was living in this part of the world, I would have used the word depressed,
Mm.
right? On my way, I called a girlfriend, and that's actually the first chapter of my second book. I called a girlfriend that we went to high school together. I was 28. She was, I think, 26. She was already a medical student. I mean, she
A
was already
doctor.
a doctor. And I was still not sure what I'm going to do with my life. And we left high school together. And I asked her, I said, "This is my situation. What do you think I should do?" She said, "Citibank is an international bank. Anything can happen. Don't lose this opportunity." I was angry I'm like, how dare her tell me that? I was squatting with some people because I didn't have money. And when I got there, I told the man and the wife, the two of them sat in front of me. I said, "Oh my God, I'm not having a good day at all." And I told them, and the man said, "I see a bright light. You are going to be big. You should not lose the opportunity." I spoke to another sister. She said the same thing. I was angry in my spirit with every one of them. I went to bed and I had a dream, and God spoke to me in that dream. And God told me, "How dare you? I'm giving you a job and you're saying no." God made me realize that I'm an empty barrel that is making a lot of noise.
Wow.
I woke up crying from that dream. I said, "God, I don't know how to make tea for my mates. I don't know. You gotta help me. I don't know how I can make tea for people I feel we're in the same category." Do you understand what I mean?
Mm.
And it was only the grace of God that helped me to do that job. When I started doing it, I met people in the organization that were like, "How can they be letting Adejisola make tea?" And some people even thought I did hospitality because of the way I did it, because it
Yeah.
wasn't me
See,
doing it.
Gisela, see, I will tell you, you were a bright light. See, once you walk into an office, people smile. People smiled. See, and I will say something again. You had fantastic friends. Because
Yes.
I'll tell you, ah, the friends of today would have told you, what? Rubbish. Don't take it. Yeah.
I know. I know, right? So I did the job only by the grace of God. And, you know, once I started, it was less than 3 months when they said, no, my salary is not going to be 13,000 plus. It was going to be 16,000 plus. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? You're just throwing money all around. And that was a lot of money way back then.
Yeah.
So I went back to school. I enrolled in Onwuegbuzie University for my banking and finance because now I'm a big girl. Now I could rent a house. Now I could take care of my kids. It was so great. I did not spend maybe 3 months in that making tea before I would move to a different department. So you can imagine if I did not do it,
Yeah.
right? I was moved to a different department. I was moved around. And then a fantastic opening came. I kept praying to God. I said, I like this organization, but I would love to be a permanent staff. And God kept telling me, you're going to be a permanent staff. And I keep, telling God as if God doesn't know what God was saying, that, yeah, when I finish my degree, I will get a permanent job. But I didn't finish my degree before I got a permanent job. The opportunity opened and
See, the opportunity opened, but you were fantastic in the test you did
yes.
and in the interviews. Okay.
Yeah.
You were fantastic. And I will tell you in the interview, I wasn't there, but I know the kind of person you were. That's joyful person that people see your attitude gave you the job. It's not your qualification,
No.
your attitude gave you the job.
Yeah, because I didn't really have a qualification. Other people that had that interview with me had much more better qualification, but God made it happen. And imagine now from 16,000 plus to earning, my base then was 500,000. I mean, and every quarter they'll give us money. It was like I was losing money from all over me. It changed my life. It just changed my life.
Yeah.
And so